Welcome to Wicked Chronicles Part 5. After a long and treacherous pursuit, the web of deceit and crime woven by the Crimson Vow is finally unraveling. Elise, the relentless detective, has navigated a path littered with danger, betrayal, and unexpected allies. As we step into the final chapter of this thrilling journey, let's take a moment to revisit the intense revelations of Part 4. In Chapter 7, Elise and Cipher found themselves in the shadows of an abandoned warehouse, navigating a web of deception as they tried to unmask the mole within their ranks. Every step they took brought them closer to uncovering the traitor, but danger lurked in every corner, making their mission a race against time. Then, in Chapter 8, Elise pieced together the final clues, tracing Catherine's involvement in illegal transactions. With undeniable proof in her hands, she confronted Catherine in a high-stakes face-off, setting the stage for the ultimate showdown. Now, in Part 5, the truth is out, but the battle is far from over. Loyalties will be tested, secrets will unravel, and justice will be served, one way or another. Let's dive into the final part of Wicked Chronicles. The abandoned warehouse loomed against the night sky, its rusted exterior a jagged silhouette under the faint glow of the moon. Elise crouched behind a stack of crates near the back entrance, her heart pounding as she surveyed the scene. The Crimson Vow's enforcers were already inside, unloading crates from unmarked trucks. The operation was far larger than she had anticipated. Dozens of men moved with military precision, each one armed and dangerous. Elise adjusted the earpiece in her ear, her voice a whisper.
Cipher, are you getting this?
Loud and clear.
Cipher replied over the crackling line.
You've got at least 20 hostiles inside, plus a couple stationed on the perimeter. No sign of Catherine yet, but I'd bet my life she's in there.
Elise tightened her grip on her gun. She had spent weeks unraveling the Crimson Vow's web, and now, finally, it was all converging here. Catherine Watts had made her move, escalating the stakes, but Elise wasn't about to let her walk away unscathed. As Elise crept closer to the warehouse, she spotted Leo Carter in the shadows near the south entrance. He was dressed in black, his posture tense as he scanned the area. She froze, watching him. She still wasn't sure where Leo's loyalties truly lay. Before she could decide whether to approach him, Cipher's voice cut through her thoughts.
Heads up, detective. I've got another vehicle approaching from the east. Looks like reinforcements.
Elise swore under her breath.
How many?
Too many. If you're going in, you better do it fast.
Elise slipped through the side entrance, her steps silent on the concrete floor. The interior of the warehouse was a maze of shipping containers, crates, and rusted machinery. She moved carefully, her gun raised, her senses on high alert. Voices echoed through the cavernous space, and Elise ducked behind a stack of crates, peering through the gaps. Catherine Watts stood in the center of the room, her pristine appearance a stark contrast to the grimy surroundings. She was surrounded by armed men, her voice calm and authoritative as she gave orders.
Make sure the shipment is loaded by midnight.
Catherine said, her tone cold and commanding.
We're not leaving anything behind.
One of the enforcers nodded, gesturing to the others to speed up their work. Elise's chest tightened. Catherine wasn't just orchestrating the operation. She was running it. Elise crept closer, her earpiece crackling softly.
Cipher, do you have eyes on the shipments? What's in those crates?
Not yet. But if I had to guess, it's weapons, or worse. Whatever it is, it's big enough to make Catherine show up in person.
Elise's pulse quickened. She had to act, but she couldn't take on everyone alone. She glanced toward the south entrance where she had last seen Leo. If he was on her side, she needed him now more than ever.
Leo?
She whispered into her radio, hoping he was listening.
I need backup. Where are you?
There was a long pause, and for a moment, she thought he wouldn't respond. Then his voice came through, low and steady.
I'm in position, south entrance. What's the play?
Elise hesitated. Could she trust him? If Leo was playing both sides, she was walking into a trap. but she didn't have a choice.
We take out the guards on the perimeter first. Then we move in on Catherine. Try to keep it quiet until we have no other option.
Got it?
Elise moved quickly and silently, taking down 2 guards with precision. The first dropped with a swift blow to the head, the second with a well-placed shot from her silenced pistol. She met up with Leo near the southeast corner, their movements coordinated despite the tension between them.
Nice work.
Leo muttered as they cleared the perimeter.
Save it. We're not out of this yet.
They worked their way toward the center of the warehouse, where Catherine was overseeing the operation. Elise signaled for Leo to flank left while she moved right, her eyes never leaving Catherine. As Elise stepped into position, Catherine's voice rang out.
Detective Hart, I was wondering when you'd show up.
Elise froze, her cover blown. Catherine turned to face her, a sly smile spreading across her lips.
Drop the gun?
Catherine said, her tone casual but laced with authority.
You're surrounded.
Elise's eyes darted around the room. Catherine was right. More enforcers had appeared, their weapons trained on her.
Don't do this, Catherine.
Elise said, lowering her gun but keeping her grip firm.
It's over. I have enough evidence to bury you and your entire operation.
Catherine laughed softly.
Oh, Detective, you still don't get it, do you? This isn't about evidence or justice. This is about power. And no matter what you think you've uncovered, you'll never win.
Elise opened her mouth to respond, but before she could, gunfire erupted from the shadows. Leo emerged, taking out 2 of Catherine's guards before ducking behind a crate. Chaos erupted. Elise dove for cover as Catherine's enforcers opened fire, the sound of bullets ricocheting off metal filling the air. The firefight was brutal. Elise and Leo worked together seamlessly, their years of partnership allowing them to anticipate each other's moves. But the numbers were against them, and every moment felt like a battle for survival. Amid the chaos, Elise spotted Catherine slipping toward the back exit.
She's running.
Elise shouted, breaking from cover and sprinting after her. Catherine disappeared into a corridor lined with crates, her heels clicking against the concrete. Elise followed, her gun raised, her breathing ragged.
Catherine, it's over. Stop running.
Catherine turned, her gun in hand, and fired. The bullet grazed Elise's shoulder, the pain sharp and immediate, but she didn't stop. She tackled Catherine to the ground, the 2 women grappling for control.
You think this ends with me?
Catherine hissed as they struggled.
You're just cutting one thread in a web you can't even begin to untangle.
Elise pinned Catherine down, her knee pressing into her chest.
Then I'll cut every thread I can find.
By the time the firefight died down, federal agents, called in secretly by Cipher, stormed the warehouse, arresting the remaining enforcers and securing the evidence. Catherine was led away in handcuffs, her expression calm, despite the chaos around her. As she passed Elise, she smirked.
You may have won this round, Detective, but you'll never cut all the strings.
Elise watched her go, her chest heaving with exhaustion. Amid the aftermath, Elise found Leo slumped against a crate, blood seeping from a gunshot wound to his side. She rushed to his side, pressing her hands against the wound.
Why? Why didn't you tell me everything?
Leo coughed, a faint smile playing on his lips.
Because you needed to believe in the fight. If you knew how bad it really was, you might have given up.
Tears blurred Elise's vision as Leo's breathing grew shallow.
Stay with me, Leo. You don't get to check out now.
But his hand fell limp and his eyes closed. In the weeks that followed, Elise used the evidence from the warehouse to dismantle key parts of the Crimson Vows operation. But Catherine's words haunted her. The organization wasn't gone. It was regrouping, adapting. One night, Elise returned home to find a note on her desk, bearing the Crimson Vows sigil. "You can't cut all the strings, Detective." Elise stared at the note, her resolve hardening. The battle wasn't over, but she wasn't done fighting. Thank you for listening to Wicked Chronicles. And that brings us to the end of this thrilling journey. From the very first clue to the final showdown, we've unraveled secrets, faced betrayals, and witnessed justice being served. It's been a wild ride, and I truly appreciate you being a part of this adventure. But the stories don't stop here. If you enjoyed Wicked Chronicles and want to experience more gripping tales filled with mystery, action, and suspense, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Your support means the world and helps bring more stories to life. Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and keep chasing the next mystery. Thank you again, and see you in the next story.